On behalf of the administration, the faculty, and the staff of the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg, I just want to welcome you here for this event today. We are super excited about the things that the Department of Journalism and Media Studies are doing. And so we really wanted to give back to the community and share some of the stuff that we do here. So we are very excited. This is a free event to kind of premiere some of the exciting things that are going on with some of our programs here.
I know you are all here today for training and to learn, how to be more effective with digital communications. That's not what I'm here to talk to you about. So I'm just going to give you a very quick testimony about my experience at USF St. Pete. For those of you who are interested in the DJD program or the face-to-face program, I went to Florida State, and it wasn't toward the end that I realized I wanted to go into journalism. And I immediately signed up applied to work at the school paper and was a staff writer there when I, decided that I wanted a formal education in journalism. Applied to USF St. Pete, came down and visited, and was very drawn to the program. I loved the location and the faculty and the intimacy of it. Knew there would be a lot of one-on-one because the graduate program was so small. And I really didn't know what to anticipate. I didn't know what it would lead to. I actually always thought I would end up moving up north when I was done. And it afforded me so many opportunities, and the education was invaluable. When I look at it, I kind of split it into what I learned as far as interviewing and reporting and news writing, which I mostly apply at New Roots, and then what I learned in all of my digital communication classes, which that combined with everything else I apply more at Creative Loafing. But from photojournalism was huge for me, and I know they'll be offering that in the DJD program. Not only did I learn how to use an SLR, but learning Photoshop, I use that for hours every day at work now. And in Dr. Wong's web publishing class, I learned HTML, which has also become very useful at work. And it was really just taking advantage of all of the opportunities. I see every student that goes through, I'm like, I really want you to have the experience I had. And, I got the internship with Creative Loafing, which led to a part-time job, which led to a full-time job. So it's just taking advantage of, what's put in front of you, which applies across the board, and not just at school, but in the workplace and in your relationships.
If I were giving this presentation a few years ago, I may have started off with a quote similar to this one from the Wall Street Journal. Consumers are flocking to blogs, social network sites, and virtual worlds, and they are leaving a lot of marketers behind. That was a few years ago. Today, here's some updated statistics. 4 of the top 7 highest traffic websites, which are Facebook, YouTube, Wikipedia, and Blogger, are social media websites. That's huge. 2/3 of the global internet population visit these social networks. And in a recent study, in February 2012, Facebook had 850 million users. Last time I had updated that number was in a presentation was in 2010 when they had 400 million users. In 2011 alone, they added 200 million. LinkedIn had 135 million, Twitter had 465 million, and Google Plus, growing pretty rapidly, had 90 million. 4 out of 5 internet users visit social networks and blogs. And social networking is still the fastest growing behavior online. Here's a few of my sources at the bottom, but like I said, I'll include those all in the link at the very end for you. So why is social media important? Building relationships. I found that 57% of people actually talk more online than they do in person. At first that was hard for me to believe, but it kind of makes sense, with email and different forms of online messaging. Locating community, building that sense of community. Having an online presence really helps you obtain that, and your customers may feel that they know someone on the inside. That's the benefit you want to give them. Customer service, it's direct conversation. Generally, anything with social business also applies to social media business. Content generation. Content is king, but marketing is queen. So using these content strategies efficiently and really making it part of your overall marketing and communication strategy will help you. SEO, it's always great to drive people to your website, anytime there's conversation about you or your business through social media or blogging, you're going to help with those search statistics. And of course, business research gives you quick, visible results. Most of it's free. All those good reasons that we should always try it. And the future of the internet is social. So it's really important to be in it. And it's integrated into our lives at multiple levels.
Specifically, I was asked by Mark Walters to talk to him about this idea that he had to create this online graduate degree program. And he felt that I might be able to help generate some students, some ways in which we could outreach to a population of people who might be interested in taking the class and registering for the course. So that was the objective, and I'm going to talk to you today about what we did in that program, how we proceeded to make it happen, and sort of the steps that we used. I hope that it will appear to you as a model that you could use in creating some sort of population of people who you can promote a particular idea or a particular product or service to, and you can garner those people as potential constituents to whatever service or product that you're trying to sell. So this is really intended to be a model for you. Therefore, I encourage you to sort of think as you go along how you might be able to transpose what we did for the DJD promotional program into creating your own brand and your own constituents for your own kind of program or service. So the objectives was for, pardon me, to get as many online users as possible to learn about the new DJD program, which we launched the activity online on Facebook in January, but as you'll see, we started a lot earlier in bringing it to the place where we could actually launch it. Pardon me. It's allergy season. I'm sure you're probably hung up in that mess as I am. The other objective, of course, is to keep the cost as low as possible or as modest as possible and get the most effective results. Our objective comes down to basically getting as many click-throughs to turn into action. And the process that we used is, I think, probably modest enough that it could be applied to almost anything.
So, as you can see, I'm here to talk about blogging. And I hope I can give you today 10 of what I think are the most effective, high-impact ways to make your blog better. And by that, I mean attract more readers to your blog, increase your influence as a blogger, and depending on what your ultimate goals are, bring more customers to your business, increase your presence online, among other things. So let me begin with just a couple quick questions by a show of hands. How many people right now are blogging? Okay, looks like we've got 4 or 5 maybe in the group. That's good. And how many of you have some plans in the not too distant future to begin blogging? Okay, great. So it looks like we're up to about 15 or 20. And how many of you think that you could be convinced with the proper presentation to maybe start blogging at some point? A few more. All right, good, good. I'm hoping that virtually everyone has raised their hands, but we'll see what we can do in the next 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes. Okay, so let me begin with a really basic question. Just bear with me. I want to make sure we're all on the same page and speaking the same language here. So what is a blog? Well, I think at the most basic level, a blog is a form of digital publishing. It's a form of web publishing. And a blog is really a medium. So like any medium, a blog has certain conventions. There are certain standards, some of them spoken, some of them unspoken. And there are certain rules of the road that people follow when they blog. So a couple of key components to a blog. For the most part, blogs are driven by the written word. Now, to be sure, there are video blogs, there are photo blogs, multimedia can be used to great effect in blogs, as we'll see. But primarily, people are writing their blog posts. So we're talking about written communication. Blogging is really characterized by short, frequent posts. So it's hard to put exact numbers because there's variance, but when I say short, I mean 500 to 1,000 words as a typical blog post. Some much longer, some shorter, but that's a good ballpark range. When I say frequent, the correlation between how often a blogger posts and how many readers he or she has is phenomenal. It's almost a perfect correlation.
And my research and teaching focus is on, you can see, visual communications. So I like visual, I like photos, and I hope you share the same interest with me. This is the photo I took in Washington, D.C. This month. We're still in March. So I went there, and surprisingly it was warm. It was historically kind of the 70s for a week, so the cherry blossoms came early. So I got an opportunity to capture this picture. So it's fresh, so I want to share that with you. All right, so I'm not going to talk about the the visual communications practice, the best practices. So the first kind of a tip is to kiss. All right, we follow the theme, like a pinkish cherry kind of colors. It's not really actually kiss. Probably you all know about the meaning of this. Keep it simple, stupid. All right, really, really simple, stupid. I really feel guilty sometimes to say that, but that's the reality. That's how we perform, how we design, how we plan our media products. Let's look at some of the concepts, because when we talk about visual communications or even communications, we have to think about probably a continuum of big picture and small pictures, like big planning and small planning and big design ideas and small design details. So let's look at how can we follow the principles of KISS, keep it simple and stupid. So I think Google is simple and stupid. Why is that? What do you think about what came to your mind when you see Google?
Text box.
Text box. What else?
Search.
Yeah.
Very simple. The opening layout is just not cluttered.
There's nothing more than just a box, and then you probably just do search other than other things. Well, of course, after years of success, they generate a series of products, but they always have a name for that, like Gmail, right? And some other services. They bought up YouTube. They came up some products. Some of them are successful, some are not. But when you think about Google, it's just a box, search box, and it's a name. And what do you do with it? Search.